Hey, I'm Matt Hudgens, and he's Dave Mulvaney, and this is Profitability MD. Dave, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, Matt. How about you?
Life is good. Life is always good. All right, episode 139, monetizing your message. Monetizing your message. We talk about this all the time. One of the core things is what's your message, what's your marketing message, what's your $1 million message, what's your market dominating position, okay? That's one of our fundamentals we talk about all the time. Right?
So today we're going to go to the mailbag, right? Isn't that what we said?
I love it. Yeah. Today we're going to go with real life examples of stuff that you and I are working on right now, and some prospects you and I are talking with, and some clients that we have, and just kind of go and emails that we get and kind of critique them, right? So back to the fundamentals. We always talk about the foundations. The fundamentals are who's your target market, what's your $1 million message, what's your irresistible offer. So before our call, you were talking about a specific one, and then I had lunch with somebody earlier this week. So you start off with yours, and you said you looked at his website.
So, yeah, okay. So I'm not going to say what business
not industry,
he's
just say you're looking at his website, and what did you start thinking?
This is a person, company that's raising money, and they've already received, a fair amount of funding. But it seemed like their funding raise for the type of category of business they were seemed to be going slow. So, and he was looking for me to invest. And so I went to the website and I started to read, and I continued to read, and I continued to be more confused on, number one, what specifically does your product do that would improve my life?
Okay.
I mean, so that was number one. I was like, it was going in a lot of directions. There was a lot of technical jargon, which I'm outside the industry. So now consider this: I'm outside the industry, but yet I was approached to invest.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know what those things mean, those acronyms and all these different things. So what ended up happening, that turned into a breakfast meeting that I said, look, your message.
Yep.
We got to get clear on that. So first, before we could get on the message, he has 3 segments of his ideal audience, if you will.
Right. So he's got 3 target markets.
3 target markets.
So number one, he should probably have a website, at least a page for each one of those.
A landing page.
For potential investors, there should be its own little web page, landing page. For potential clients, that should be another landing page. All right, so go back. All right, so now we're saying, number one, who's his target market? We're looking at investors. He's got 2 others, clients, customers, something else. I don't know what his third.
Well, yes, there's 3 different types of customers. This is a multi-trillion-dollar industry that he's in.
Yeah.
I said, look, you got to segment so that they are segmenting, by the way. If they ask you on the site, are you this or are you this? So they do segment, but then it got very technical. So they do realize they have a target audience, so they're not totally off track there. But we want them to get real clear on those targets. But then the next thing is the message. This is when you leave the message, the expression, the confused mind decides nothing.
Right.
It's a very real statement, because if you're looking for investors, you don't want to confuse them with your message. You want to make it super clear what you do and what differentiates you from your competitors. That's got to be super clear. A lot of the things on their website are really cool and super clear, but a lot of things are not. And so they're going in a lot of directions. That's the other thing, is we try to give people too much. Like, we want to tell them everything we do. Oh, I can pull your teeth. I can get you a new bridge. I could, do all these different, we want to tell them every single thing. And when in reality,
Russell, how to have the perfect smile. How to have the perfect smile. That would be a better message than we do bridges, we do crowns, we do cavities. How to have a better smile. Yeah. Right? That's a better message. That's exactly what we're talking about. You're saying this guy needs at least a message, and then his offer, it doesn't have to be tell you everything. It should be request more information or request more specific. If you're interested in investing with us.
And they have a wonderful app. And the reality is, when you're dealing with an app, especially since they have a free version of it, and then a unbelievable portion of it that can save tens of thousands of dollars for people who are already in this industry. And so I was like, well, that should be like, that should be the main thing on the website.
Yes.
You give this message and then you like download the free app right now. I mean, and so that wasn't even an option on the site. So those are some things that I saw, and this is what, this is what we do when somebody comes to me, and I'm doing it more and more now, especially with people I know. When they send me an email,
right,
I actually, instead of just deleting it, I kind of look through that email and go, all right, what's this missing? What's this missing? And what can make it better? But you got to be careful. And the reason I say you got to be careful is it's like calling somebody's baby ugly. You got to be careful so you're not telling somebody their baby's ugly, because they might have paid a lot of money to have their website created. They might have paid a lot of money to, and so you want to be careful. And the way you approach that, or the way I approached it, was simply, I think you can get better results with some tweaks. That's what I said. Some tweaks to your message.
That's perfect.
And they're trying to become $1 billion company. So I said, some tweaks you can get to, the $100 million message, and some tweaks will get you to the $1 billion message. So
I love it. All right. So from the mailbag, I think I sent you this earlier this week. It was I think it was an email or a voicemail. I can't remember. I think it was a voicemail.
I think it was a voicemail you said, yeah.
Yeah. So it's for, well, I'll just read you I'll read off what the message said, and you tell me what you think it is, right? So, hi, this is Hanks at Waterworks Pressure Cleaning of Atlanta. Wanted to let you know that we're in the, I didn't mean to mention names, sorry.
Hey, by the way, Hank, we're promoting you on this show.
Exactly. We want to let you know that we'll be in the neighborhood over the next couple of weeks, and wanted to see if you wanted house washing, window cleaning, or gutter cleaning to get your home ready for the fall or even the winter. If you'd like us to give you maybe a free quote, give us a call, blank, 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 and we'll be able to help you get a quote on any exterior cleaning needs for your home. Look forward to hearing from you.
Okay. Right. Can I say something about this text message? Because you forwarded it to me. First of all, if you're going to market to people through text or email or any other medium.
This is voicemail, by the way.
It was a voicemail.
It's not a text. It's the AI translation. That's why it's bad.
Okay.
So, but now watch this. So you and I talked about this before. The I'll be in the neighborhood is a great referral strategy, right? So it's inferring that you're already working with one of my neighbors, even though you didn't say you're working with my neighbor Bill. Directly, you are inferring that, hey, I'm already working with some of your neighbors. I'm going to be in town, right? That's actually a great strategy, right? But the weakness was there was nothing about what's in it for me, right? There's nothing about make my home beautiful, make your home envy of the neighborhood, get the house of the month club, nothing in it for me. There's no interrupt, engage, educate me on why this is awesome or why I would even want the service, right? There's nothing about educating me on what's the value that I'm going to receive, right? At least we've done this before, pressure washing. I work with some auto detailers. Those messages are make your car the pride of your neighborhood, right? Or messages like make your car look the best it's ever looked since it walked off the lot, right? That's the kind of messages we're doing for auto detailing. Make your car beautiful, right? There's nothing in this here about make your house beautiful, make your house clean. Nothing about, hey, we'll do the gutters so you can go play golf. There's nothing, no message that there's a benefit to me, right?
Yeah, and okay, so like make your car beautiful. That what I like to even take that a step further would be make your car so beautiful that it'll turn all your neighbors' heads.
Perfect. Even better. Yes.
You take it to the next level. Why do I want a beautiful car? Because other people will notice that I have a beautiful car.
Yes.
That's what it really boils down to. Why do I want to have my house pressure washed? Is because I want a better looking house than my neighbors, right? Because
right. Landscaping, have the best looking garden in the neighborhood. Get the lawn of the month club, right? We don't have any of that messaging in here, right? And then what's his irresistible offer? We talk about who's your target market. Okay, I'm the neighborhood target market. He's got that right. He's got no $1 million message why I would want or do it. And then his offer is so weak. We'll get you a free quote.
Yeah, the
What
free
kind of
quote
offer is
is,
that?
well, what you could have said is, I mean, in this very offer would have been better if they said, okay, they used association. So there's reasons people buy: fear of loss,
Yeah.
association. So there, in this case, it's association. I'm in your neighborhood, so they're thinking, oh, they're already doing work here.
Yeah.
Now, instead of paying a high service call fee, while I'm there, we could offer our services. If that's of interest to you, we could get you a quote before we come out to do the work, so that you won't pay extra, even though a lot of pressure washers wouldn't charge a service call fee anyway. I mean, you're trying to generate business,
Right. But
give an incentive for them taking action on your
sure.
offer.
They could have incentives, right? Whether it be discounts, whether it be a quick responders, whether it be a reduced service call because we're already out here, right? There could have been an education piece, right? Why it's important to clean your gutters, why it's important to, pressure wash your house. Maybe it makes your house last longer, the paint job lasts longer, less rotten wood, less repair maintenance going forward. Same thing for the gutters. It keeps your gutters from rotting out. You could have had like a little education piece you could have offered, which is a lot less, forceful. Hey, just give me a call for a quote, right? Give me a little a little PDF one pager, 10 reasons to have your gutters cleaned, 10 reasons to pressure wash your car, right? Go with Joe Polish and Ian Jackson, we talk about, right? The how to choose a carpet cleaner, right? How to choose why clean your house, right? How often do you need to dry clean your carpet, right? Those are like little education pieces that are very easy little offers, right? So that was a little critique of that one. That was actually, I like that.
Well, and the other thing is, I think about, and we've talked about this before, this idea. Now, I do like the voicemail marketing. Now, let me ask you a question. Did your phone ring or did it not ring?
Well, that's a good question. I think it went directly to voicemail. So their services will go right to voicemail.
So it's a robo-dialer, and I use those in the real estate business. Why? Because I can record a message and I can send out, and I know it sounds bad, robo-dialer, but I can send out, 250 voicemail messages to cell phones by the click of a button, and they go about every 30 seconds. So the longer you wait between the robo-dial, the less it'll come in and say scam likely. But that voice message is somehow they got your cell number, which is very interesting. But we end up on all these lists. But when you're marketing, you have this, how can I say it? You have one chance. And so getting this messaging right, you got one chance. If you're going to leave a message, you got one chance to talk to your target audience. Not everybody who gets that message is your target audience, but if they are, you got one chance to give them your $1 million message and how you're going to make their life better. And so many people, these things work as they are, but you can get so much better. We always talk about that. You can get so
with
much
the tweaking. You're exactly right. All right, so then I'll change the subject, but also kind of a live case. And we're talking to one of my friends, and they do valuations. So valuations is how much is your business worth, right? And so there are different reasons you have valuations done. And I know several valuation people, right? So you have a valuation done if you're going to sell your business, right? Just like you have an appraisal for your house, you're going to sell it, right? You'll have a valuation done if you're going to sell a piece of your business. If you're going to bring in a family member, right? If you're getting a divorce, you'll have to value the business. So what portion did the spouse pay to the other spouse, or how to equal it up, right? You'll have it date of death. So if a spouse, a business owner dies, the estate tax matters how much the business is worth, right? As well as what they can sell. So there are many reasons you can do valuations, right? Also, there's a reason to have a valuation of your business, which we talked about this before, which is how much is your business worth? Because it's probably a lot of your net worth, a lot of your retirement money, your investment money, what you plan to retire on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what just to kind of set up why you get valuations done, different reasons. And then you pick a niche, right? So we were saying again, who's your target market? So they were going after small to mid-sized businesses in small towns. Okay, we're in the state of Georgia, small Georgia towns, small Florida towns. Okay, valuations, not Atlanta, right? Let's go outside the suburb. They want to do, that's their target market. What's their $1 million message? They didn't really have one, right? But we were trying to kicking around some of the ideas, and the ideas we came up with we help business owners answer the three most important questions. You know, what's their, here's, I've done this before on my own side, so I was sharing with them. You'll talk to a business owner and you'll say, do you know what your business is worth? Hey, what's your business worth, Dave? And 99% of the guys say, I don't know, or they think it's worth a bunch, or they think it's worth, they don't really know. So that's number one. And then you'll say, well, do you know how much, you know, your 401k, your IRA, you know, is worth? And now you're 50-50 that they might know what their retirement account is worth, because some people look at that on Schwab all the time or fairly frequently or whatever, but they might have an idea of that. That's still 50-50. But then the pitch line is, well, don't you think you should know what your business is worth? Because it's probably the biggest asset that you own and has the biggest contribution to your retirement, right? Yeah. So it's almost pointing out the obvious. You should probably want to know what it's worth. You know what your 401k is worth. You know how much you have for retirement, but you don't know what this is worth. You could do the three most important questions. You know what your business is worth? Are you overpaying your taxes? How do you have a retirement plan, and could it be improved? Right. So again, I'm trying to help them educate and craft a message at the same time, right? And what is that message? And I said, think about that. If you received the cold call, right? You, Dave, me, Matt, what would I want to hear, right? I don't want to hear, that wasn't a bad one, they're talking about the pressure washing the house, but you probably could have sold me a little, give me a little more information or education, right? So I said, you know, you and I talk about this, how you're building the $1 million message is how would you like to be called? What email would you respond to? Because that's what you just said. When you get an email, you're critiquing them. So a lot of your messaging needs to be, what would you want to hear, right? Not what would your mother want to hear, right? What would your best friend want to hear, right? So you got to start thinking from their point of view. What you want to hear, as you talked about with that person you mentioned, they got technical jargon, they know a bunch of stuff. You didn't know that stuff, right? You got to talk to you, the outside investor who's not in this industry, right? The homeowner who doesn't know why they need their house pressure washed. The homeowner who doesn't know how often they should have their carpets cleaned, right? Correct. They've got this whole, so you can have the whole $1 million message can be based off of these type factors, right? Convenience, speed, the education and training. Hey, I didn't know I needed to have my carpet cleaned I didn't know, right?
Yeah, and what's the, so, you know, they always say features and benefits. Forget features. Think of benefits. So, and what I mean by think of benefits, it's, okay, why do I need my air duct clean? Okay.
Yeah, great.
Because if you have allergies or you have breathing problems, especially now, you could use COVID as a, you know, this will, you know, allow you to breathe better. The benefit is 100% to the customer.
Yes,
the prospect,
it's a great point.
And find the benefits that they experience. That's part of your $1 million message.
Yes.
Especially if it's your headline on your website. The headline should be a lot of I prefer a positive headline versus a negative headline. Like 7 things you should never do in your business. It's not a great headline. Where it might be you know, 3 things that'll make your business twice as profitable as your competition would be a better headline, because it's very on the positive side. You could go in all the negative crap that you should never do, but the benefit is, oh, I want to be profitable, or I want to breathe better, or I want a clean house so my neighbors see that I have the best lawn. I've got you know, all of those things are the positive side of the message that I think often it's always, we see it all the time. It's the platitudes. It's the bragging. We've got 20 trucks. All of our service technicians, they all wear shirts, like logoed shirts. I mean, I've seen that. Like, okay, is that important? I mean, is that, I know it's important when they're on the job, but is that really that important to your prospect? They're like, no, I don't care. I mean, I do care. That, you know, if 15 people show up at your house and they're going to be working in your yard, yeah, you'd like them all to have a logo shirt on. I get that.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. So I'm looking at some of my notes here. Like when you're crafting that $1 million message, there are certain categories, right? That there's a level of service. You're convenient. There's a plumber that responds in 24 hours, right? There's the emergency dentist. There's the emergency vet. There's a vet here in Atlanta, and you know they're the ones that are open at Sunday at 11 p.m. at night, right? That's their level of service. There's speed of service. You know, it used to be 30 minutes or less Domino's Pizza. That's their $1 million message, but it was partaking on the speed, right? The education and training, you know, you'll know how to use our product, right? Or you're going to provide the value added of not only do you get this product, but you get the training that goes with it, how to use it, how to take advantage of it. There's another, right? Remove all potential risks. We talk about irresistible offer or money back guarantees plus, right? What can we do? All these are things that help you build the message as well as the offer, right? Quality, or, you know, that's a little bit of a misnomer, but quality can be done like I remember when I was building houses, I used to build spec houses, and there were actually 3 types of cabinets, right? So and it's all about the joints of the cabinets themselves and the rollers that the drawers are on, okay? And there are 3 different levels, you know, of rollers. And it was really interesting in that, so I was a spec house. I would build these and sell these houses, so I'm taking the risk, right? Well, you never did the cheapest, right? Because first of all, the cheapest might break. Second of all, they might actually know, or a customer would know or feel how cheap it is, right? But you never did the most expensive either, because the benefit from that middle brand to the expensive was not enough. The cost benefit wasn't enough, right? But then you'd have to point that out in your marketing, that these are, you know, customized kitchen cabinets with the ultra smooth, non-slam kitchen drawers, right?
Yep.
Why? Because people know what you know, remember the slamming kitchen drawers? But that became a distinction, right? So it's almost that whole feature benefit became, you know, you don't want your kids slamming the kitchen cabinets all the time, so you want the ones that soft close, right? But then you realize you don't have to own the most expensive soft close cabinets. So then if you're a cabinet maker, what should you be marketing? You should be marketing soft close cabinets. The benefits, you don't want to hear all the things slamming around. You want the cabinets to fit. You don't want the cabinet drawers to not close properly. Those are the things that you would market if you're a cabinet maker, a kitchen remodeler. Remember, we talked about this before. Don't call me if you want the cheapest, call me if you want the best. Don't call me if you want the cheapest, call me if you want the most unique, right?
Yeah.
These are some of the messages that you're starting to, and it matters because that's appealing, right? That is appealing, and it also justifies your price. Don't call me if you want the cheapest kitchen, call me if you want the most unique.
So, you know, I'm going to go on to another
example
prospect, because we're, I got approached again. I was just thinking about this, and their website was all of these. I don't want to even go into like what they do, but once again, they had so much value on their website for free that I was like, no wonder why you can't sell anything. You've got so much value, like 70 free videos on the front page. And I'm like, you need to take those and turn them into courses, offer a mini course for free, and then upsell them. Over 1,000 people on their list, and you can upsell into this monthly subscription if you want. But yeah, so there are times when we're talking marketing now, there are times when everybody's like, you got to give so much value. Well, yes, but it doesn't mean you have to, you know, so much value doesn't mean you have to give away every single thing and think that, and then leave yourself in a position where you got nothing to sell. It's okay. I mean, you and I in 139 episodes, I can assure anybody who's watching this that we've probably given away most of our knowledge in 139 episodes.
It's all in there. That's exactly right.
It's in there somewhere.
Our 5-step profit formula, the foundations, the fundamentals, it's all in there.
In fact, if you want we did like a episode chart, you can just email Matt at profitabilitymd.com or me at Dave at profitabilitymd.com. And we did a chart that went all the way through like episode 120, just kind of what it's on each episode, because that's a really valuable thing, because if you want to know about marketing, go to this episode. But the point is, when you give away a lot for free, that doesn't mean that people wouldn't hire you to help them. I mean, ultimately, why do we do this show? I mean, number one, we like talking to each other, but number two is because we're trying to help business owners get out of this hole they're in with the wrong message. If you get the message right and you get the audience right, you'll have no problem generating.
I love it. So my new saying has been, getting clients is easy, getting clients is fun, right? Getting clients is easy, getting clients for fun is fun, right? Why is that? Because you and I have done this so many times that we got the 5-step profit formula plus the foundations or the fundamentals. And by applying that, remember we got our, we can find anybody, business owner, $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 without spending a dollar more on advertising or marketing. How do we do that? We got this 40-step process you can go through, and we can tick off 2 or 3 of them because we know most business owners don't know any of these strategies and tactics. But it all keeps coming back to, that's what's so funny, it all keeps coming back to these foundations of who's your target market, what's your $1 million message, and what's your irresistible offer. Because once you have that set, then you can go put that on your LinkedIn profile. Then you can go put that on your postcards. Then you can go put that on your Facebook ads and your Facebook posts and your mailers, right? Because bringing back full circle would be that group that I was talking to. Okay, let's get a good $1 million message and let's get a good irresistible offer. What's an irresistible offer about? You know, how to improve 5 ways to increase the value of your business. Maybe that's the free offer. And then we got into, well, now we got into how do I get more leads, right? Well, now that we can talk to joint venture partners to talk about getting us in front of your clients to provide value, chambers of commerce, CPAs, other consultants that have business owners as their clients, right? But you can't just come up to the CPA and say, hey, Dave, I do valuations. You got anybody who needs a valuation? But I got to tell you, that's the way every valuation guy I know markets. Just like a financial planner. Hey, Dave, you got anybody with any money? You know any friends who got any money? Right?
Yeah.
Know anybody that needs a house? I'm a real estate agent. Know anybody who needs to buy or sell a house? That's who I want to deal with.
Yeah.
Right? That's not a message. That's not compelling. That's not generating business.
No, and sometimes that does work if you say it enough times.
Well, that's a numbers game, right? Ask 1,000 people.
If you say it enough
times,
yes. you might get the blind squirrel always finds a nut, right? But why do we? I mean, what's the crux of all this? So that you can have a business that cash flows, and then so you can use that money to pay less tax, to enjoy your free time. You can have a business that does all these things. We always talk about these basics, but it always comes down to basics. The number one complaint of all business owners is cash flow. So we spend so much time on cash flow because that's what if we fix the cash flow, you can fix all the rest of everything.
Right. And that's the funny part. I was talking to these guys, right? If you got a great message and a great offer, you'll get more leads, right? If you have a great offer and a great message, you'll get in front of more people. You get more bats. If you get more bats, you'll get more conversions, meaning you'll get more clients. If you have a great message, you could even justify premium pricing, which also makes more profit for you because, as I talked about, we don't do cheap kitchens, we do unique kitchens, right? Well, you're already right there, positioning yourself for the higher purchase price because you did it in your marketing message, in your $1 million message. So then you can justify higher prices, which means more cash flow. Then maybe they'll because you did such a good job and you demonstrated through your $1 million message, you get more transactions from those existing clients. You get referrals from those clients because you have articulated and demonstrated your $1 million message. So the reason the core matters is it gets you more leads, gets you more conversions, gets you more transaction, gets you increased prices, which gets you more cash flow and helps you create the business of your dreams, the business that you deserve, right? Yeah. But so many of these guys are just winging it, tripping through life. And they're frustrated and they're stuck and they're overwhelmed and they're just living day to day. They can't look up and work on the business because they're trying to figure out how to solve all these little minutia problems.
Yeah. And so this allows you when you get this right, if your sales force, they'll be more effective because there's pre-sales for your sales force. And ultimately, if you don't have a sales force, when you get in front of the customer, they already know why they're talking to you because they want your help. They want you to solve that problem for them.
Well, you go back to Joe Polish again. Joe Polish he would not pitch you, he would not give you a free quote unless you had downloaded or read or he had mailed you the how to choose a carpet cleaner, right? So the education, how to choose a carpet cleaner, and then if you had gone through that whole booklet, You've kind of pre-qualified yourself and you know what you're looking for and you're willing to talk to somebody who's a qualified carpet cleaner, right? That was his pre-screening. He didn't just, hey, you want your carpet cleans, carpet cleans. No, I'm not even going to talk to you unless you read this booklet, because then they're self-educated and they realize that what they're looking for isn't price, but a certain level of quality to get the job done. So
and that's a whole other subject, by the way.
That's a whole other subject, but it was great.
That your prospects read, and you can bring them you can bring them to this one point where they have a choice: hire you or not,
or something inferior.
They're not going to find someone else who's going to do all of the things that they now know they need.
Yeah. That's all right. Episode 139. Monetize your message. That's one of our key foundations, one of our key fundamentals, our 5-step profit plan, right? You've got foundations, then you got the 5 steps, more leads, more conversions, more transactions, and more profits, right? That's our little 5-step process. We do that in our group coaching and our mastermind, whatever you want to call it. If you're interested in that, Matt at profitabilitymd.com, Dave at profitabilitymd.com. Our irresistible offer is we can offer any business owner. We'll find $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 in your business without spending $1 more on advertising or marketing. We call that a profit acceleration session. We can do that in 45 minutes or less. Reach out to Matt at ProfitabilityMD, Dave at ProfitabilityMD. Schedule a profit acceleration session. How do we know that? It's every episode we've ever talked about, because every episode we've talked about, my bet is you're learning 1 or 2 of these things. And by doing 1 or 2 of these things, it goes right to your cash flow. So we're interested in helping you guys build the business of your dreams, the business you deserve, the cash flow you deserve, the cash flow you want, the cash flow you desire. So anyway, that's fun stuff. Matt at ProfitabilityMD, Dave at ProfitabilityMD. We got our YouTube channel, ProfitabilityMD, and obviously this podcast anywhere you find it. All right, man, this is good stuff.
All right, see you, Matt. Take care.
See you.